I was very lucky. I got onto the grad scheme with a company called Unilever, which is a very big, I think it's either the biggest or the second biggest consumer goods manufacturer in the world. So it makes brands like Marmite and Pot Noodle, Lynx, Domestos, Dove, Persil, all that sort of stuff. And so I was really lucky because that opened a lot of the doors that I think other people struggle to get opened, and I was able to learn all different aspects of kind of marketing and advertising. I spent some time working in an ad agency, so I worked at what was then DDB, which is now part of Adam & Eve, which is where the wing did not come and join us. So I've had the privilege of kind of seeing both sides of the coin, which is great. So I wanted to start a bit by asking you about marketing and what you think marketing is. What do people think marketing is? What comes to mind when I say the word marketing? Branding?
Logos.
Logos?
Market research.
Market research, yeah? Tell a bit more about that. What does being creative to capture an audience look like?
It would be the same all the time. Repeat techniques all the time because people get bored.
Good.
Yeah, allow the product to stand out more, be more unique.
You guys are not normally this shy.
That sounds casual, doesn't it? Any other thoughts? Come on, how does marketing and creativity sort of fit together?
Would it be like the platforms that you use and how you use the platform? So say like with Facebook, it would be the interactiveness of the advert and stuff like that?
Absolutely. And how do you know, if I'm marketing, so if the objective of marketing is, in the bluntest sense, to sell stuff, in the bluntest sense, we make it a lot more grand than that. How do you know that the creative you're looking at, you know, that piece of Facebook advertising or that piece of AV or whatever's been put through, how do you know that that's going to work, it's going to sell stuff? What sort of things are you looking for?
Couldn't you use focus groups and market research to find out what would attract the customer to that advert?
Any other ways that you might look at a piece of creative and go, is it going to work?
Sorry.
Art people. So I think this is a challenge as a marketeer, my side of the fence. So the way that kind of the industry really works, in the most simple fashion, is at one end you've got business. In my case, it's the AA. So I've worked at Unilever. So I worked on Marmite, I worked on Axe, worked on Pot Noodle, worked on Knorr, worked on Flora, worked on Balsam. For those that remember Balsam cheese, God, let's go back a bit. I then went to Birdseye. So I went there to work on peas initially. So I managed the vegetables business for my sins, which is great with Birdseye peas. God, who doesn't love Birdseye peas? Who doesn't love Birdseye fish fingers? And then I was quite lucky because I moved into a role that let me look at the whole of the Birdseye business. So I was in charge of kind of the brand, regardless of what product. And now I work at the AA. And so my official title is Head of Group Marketing at the AA. So I'm basically all things in this colour with these two letters in them. It's kind of so at one end you've got a business. And a business has like an objective. It goes, I don't know, I want to grow our sales by 5%, or I want to go into a new market, I want to go and launch in America, or it says I want to go into a new category. So at the moment we do breakdown cover, we'd like to do, I don't know, holidays. Yeah? I want to go into something totally different. So you've got a business need at this end. And that's generated by people who work in business, who don't know anything about any of the stuff we've just about market research or consumer insight. I've heard of it, consumer research, don't know anything about creativity at all. But they do know they want to make a load of money doing whatever it is they've decided over here. So they come to me, the marketer. Me is like the marketing department. So imagine I'm the whole department of people. I'm very bright. And they say, look, this is our business need. We want to grow sales by 5% next year. How do you do it? And it's my job to take that task and go, right, what's all the different ways you can grow sales? So you can grow sales by people buying more of your stuff. Or more people buying your stuff. Or people buying a wider variety of your stuff. So those are the kind of the three basic ways you can grow sales. So you go, okay, here's the 3 ways, right? And you go, well, actually, I think the opportunity to get people to buy more of my stuff. Ah, okay, so now I've got a marketing objective, which is basically, what do you want someone to do? When anyone ever says, what's the marketing objective? What they mean is, what do you want people to do? I want people to buy more of my stuff. If you can't start the sentence with, I want people to, it's not a marketing objective. I want people to buy more of my stuff. Right. So how might you find out what's stopping people buying more of your stuff?
Attraction to the product. Maybe they're not wanting the product, so they won't buy it.
Brilliant. So you test, am I selling something that's attractive? Yeah.
Checking the price, the difference between the competitor.
Brilliant. Is what I'm selling either too expensive full stop, or is it out of kilter? Is it too expensive versus other products in the market? Absolutely. Anything else that might stop people buying more of your stuff?
Loyalty to the product. See what you offer to your customers.
Brilliant. You've got everyone's like, look, I'm just an Apple person. Don't care what you're trying to sell me, I'm an Apple person. And you're like, absolutely. So that's the brand dynamics, if you like, in the marketplace, other brands. What about if you can't find your thing? So there's sometimes a problem, particularly in consumer goods, where actually the product isn't in Sainsbury's. And a quarter of people shop in Sainsbury's. So that's literally the place. So you basically, you've got like this list, and they're called the 4 Ps or the 5 Ps or the 6 Ps, depends on how many Ps you want to have. But it's basically, what's the product? Is it attractive? What's the price? Is it in line with the market? Or is it out? Or is it, what's it doing? There's the place. Can I find it? Is it where people want to buy it? Is it easy for them to buy it? So does my website not work when they click on it? Or it's really confusing? And then you've got what they call the proposition. So literally, what is the concept of the thing I'm selling? And is that the right concept? So am I trying to sell Ferraris in a country where the speed limit is 25? Is the concept of what I'm trying to sell like relevant? That's called your proposition. So you look at your Ps, and there's loads of people are always adding more Ps, but broadly you look at your Ps. And you go, right, where do I think there's an opportunity to change a P, or shift a P, or talk about a P that's going to make people buy more of my stuff? And you go, right, okay, I know what it is. It's the product. Yeah, the product, I need to improve this thing about my product. I need to make this product shinier, more engaging, more emotional for people. People think it's really boring. Great, nice and easy. Wow. So you know what it is now. You need to make this thing more exciting. You need to do what Apple did to computers. Yeah? Take them from boring boxes to something that's really like, wow. And that becomes the heart of your brief. And this is where you get marketing into what you guys all care about, which is creative. Because now we kind of start to talk to you guys. And this is what you're going to receive at the end of today. So you get to a brief. Now, brief's a really, really interesting document. So people say, write me a brief. Right, just write me a brief. And people go, okay, what's a brief? You go, well, in 1 page, ideally, sometimes 2, just write down what it is you want me to create. Yeah? You ask that easy, I just want you to create me a TV advert that makes people like my product more. And if I gave you that brief, you guys, I promise you, just out of this room, will come back with 400 different ways of answering it. And if we go back to the very, very first question, which is how are you going to tell if the creator's any good? If you weren't completely clear in your brief, if you weren't really confident the thing that you were asking people to do was the thing that was going to make people change their behaviour, then those 400 things you come back with will be a bit right, a bit wrong. And you're basically trying to answer the problem without really knowing the problem. And it's just pot luck then. Might be lucky, might get a good answer, won't really know. So the most important document, the most important thing, the most important conversation you have in advertising, in marketing and creative, is the brief. What is the brief? What is the single problem you're trying to solve? Because you know full well that when you are doing a piece of creative, you can only do one, you can say really at the very heart, one thing. It has one idea. A picture has one idea. A story, an advert has one idea. You know, even a film at its very heart, the best films, you can write one sentence that summarises what is this film. And that one idea is what you need to make brilliant creative. Because it's only when you've got one simple idea you can make a fantastic, powerful, emotion advert, yeah, or bit of content.
And that's because your consumer is only going to be, they're only going to take the first thing you say to them, really. So what you have to do is you have to not overcomplicate it for them. You have to distill down what it is you want them to hear into that one idea.
Right, what's the single idea?
Dogs are precious and you must protect them at all costs.
Dogs are precious and must protect them.
At all costs.
Any other offers?
Yeah, any
Shout out.
Go on, yeah.
No, because it makes you sympathise with the dog, doesn't it? And then it makes you want to support and dogs trust and give money.
It's like saying everyone deserves a special someone for dogs, humans.
You could be the dog's special someone. Give us money, please.
That's not the idea, that's the objective.
assuming the dog has a toy that looks like you, which is what the ad says.
Dogs have feelings.
Yeah.
It's a very good
Yep.
I think you might say, if you're feeling a bit lonely, maybe you need a dog.
Or 400 cats.
So I think the root underneath it all, what it says is dogs are just like people. They feel lonely, they need a friend, they need to be loved. And they're pulling at your heartstrings, think about how you would feel if you're alone. So that's, looking at Teddy, completely humanising the dog. And you're immediately in that dog's shoes, feeling how you'd feel. So it's a really powerful single idea, which kind of transposes a lot of the human things, loneliness, onto a dog and makes you feel like the dog. You feel lonely and sad and then hugely emotional. Really, really good sort of single, powerful idea. Give us another one. Come on, give us another answer.
Terry Crews, Old Spice.
Right, the single thought at the heart of either of those ads actually. But I mean, it probably is nothing the same. Go on.
Watch it.
It would be a case
I see
of
what.
this new shaver can get through any form of facial hair.
Yep.
How strong.
Yep, alright, I like that. I like that. That's I could have done.
You've never seen it.
And any other sort of the single thought at the heart of those ads?
Huh? What? He's an entertaining man. If you know his personality, he's a funny guy. So naturally, watching like the same thing with Will Smith. If anything you see him in for like 5 seconds, you're interested automatically. So picking an actor who is known for being comedic or who is known for captivating a crowd is quite a good sign straight away if you're marketing a product.
Great. Yeah, go on. I'll talk a bit about that.
He's sort of is summing up the brand in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute.
I was going to say was because it's funny, it draws people's attention to the ad. Because unfunny ads people ignore.
Yeah, well, I could probably put some ads up that aren't funny that you wouldn't ignore. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I feel like really marketing, isn't it?
yeah.
I thought there was perhaps a little bit of fun on in your face.
Yeah, totally. So, when you're looking at a piece of creative that needs to do a job, yeah, that needs to sell something or make people buy more, something different or whatever, I do a lot of these. There's a lot of these bloody letters you have to go with me. You think about the A, the B, and the C. A, B, C. A is for awareness. So will people notice it? Or you could say it's for attention. People use A for attention or awareness. So the point you guys are all making about he's a funny guy, he cut through, he's in your face, you couldn't miss it. Other examples would be silly bang, bang, the dirt is gone, or go compare, all that sort of stuff. Massive, massive A. Huge cut through. And that's your number one objective. If you don't get your A, there's no point in getting the rest, because if people don't notice it, it's not, your money is wasted, yeah? Your creative is wasted, not wasted. The second one is B, brand. So I noticed it, but did I notice this brand? Because if I've spent a load of money as a marketer, and you've put a load of effort into making an ad, and everyone has seen it, but then people think it's for a different brand, I've basically just funded someone else's business in growing. That's like the worst cardinal sin. And we do a lot of testing, what's called misattribution, checking that people know your ad is for your brand. Big challenge for the AA, because the AA and the RAC, I like that one. So B, brand. That's really good, really well branded. And again, go compare! Do we know what brand it's for? Exactly. Compare the beer cart. What brand is it for? Exactly. Really strong brand. And then C stands for communication. So does it tell me, or tell the watcher, the thing that you need to tell them to get them to do what you want them to do? Yeah, so if I'm selling a new thing, does it tell me about the new thing? If I'm telling you about a new feature, does it tell me the new feature? Does it communicate the message? Now that seems a difficult one, because the more like nitty-gritty you get about C, the more you kind of tell people all the things you need to tell them, the more boring the ad gets, so you lose your A, and the more time you're talking about stuff rather than showing the brand, so you lose your B. So there's a really careful line to walk on the ABC. I would say those ads, and I'll talk a bit about Old Spice, because I used to work on links, and I used to work globally on links. So it's like Axe globally, it's called. And Old Spice globally is the biggest competitor to Axe in America. So I know quite a lot about Old Spice. Old Spice has a massive issue with A, people remembering it, so the A, but it has a much, much bigger issue with its B. So people think of Old Spice as really, really old-fashioned and boring, and your dad wore it. And I suppose in our country, if you've got a Brute, if anyone remembers Brute, you remember Brute, which would be our parents' kind of aftershave. So they had a massive branding job to do to move their brand to something much younger and much funkier. That's bang. And I suspect the brief has been massive A, massive B, make their brand young and engaging and fun. And then if you can squeeze in a bit of telling them about the razor, happy days. Really what I want you to do is the attention of the branding. Other brands don't need the attention of the branding because, you know, as soon as you open the door with Google, everyone's heard of Google. Everyone knows what Google is, you know what Google is. Actually what Google needs to do is sometimes tell you some stuff, and so you'll see a different sort of ad from Google. So that's a really good example. Let's do one more. Let's do one more, shall we?
Just Eat Backstreet Boys.
Just Eat Backstreet Boys. Oh, no. A brilliant campaign. So that's a great, that's a really good example of a really clear campaign idea. So have people seen other stuff from Just Eat, like in other media? What media have you seen?
Well, I've seen it like on Facebook.
Yeah?
And then I've seen like posters.
Yeah.
And then when you walk into like a chippy or something, it'll be on the
Yeah.
window.
Yeah.
Or on magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Around the corner anymore.
So what is the thought? So all those things that you see, they're all part of the same campaign, aren't they? They all kind of have the same thought running through them. Could you explain just the thought at the very centre of the campaign?
Don't move, literally just eat an order from us.
Do you need anything else?
It's like this case is like it's a click with your fingers. You just
Yeah.
tap the screen and then it's done.
Yeah. Anything else at the heart of the campaign? So there's a bit more in the Just Eat thing. So what they're digging at is how you feel when your takeaway arrives. Yeah?
I get really excited.
Exactly. You feel like you want to go, hallelujah! It's here. So they're digging at that moment where you almost want to burst into song. And so they're combining the actual takeaway, so they're queuing the just click, here's your food, anything you want. It's a huge variety in all the different pieces of creative. Yeah, God, I can't think now, there's like chicken tikka masala, and they talk about all the stuff they do. They combine that, which is a nice bit of C, here's all the stuff we do, communication, with an absolutely brilliant bit of B, branding, which goes, this brand makes you feel like your takeaway's just arrived. My God, what a brilliant moment that is. Was it just that you had mini fist pump moment? Is that the same brand? It's a similar kind of space. Yeah? So it's a lovely, lovely company thought. What it's a great example of is how combining media together can make a campaign really powerful. So it doesn't need to be that you see the same TV ad everywhere. You see that TV ad on YouTube, it's a TV ad, it's my old language, you watch the AV on YouTube, and then, to your point, you're in the chippy, you see the poster, and it's just, yeah, and you just go, just eat, just eat. It's got this lovely, engaging, happy, songy feeling about it, and it feels really positive, and it's really what we call top of mind. So at that moment, you are hungry, it's right up there, right top of your brain, it's one of the first things to do, just eat, of course. Right, shall I get onto the roof? Before I move on to talk about the AA, which I will, kind of any sort of questions for me before we get into like more slightly nitty-gritty stuff? Does the AA have a mascot? We used to have a mascot called Patrolman Pete back in the 80s.
Petroleum Pete.
Patrolman Pete. Although Petroleum Pete might have been a better name. Which was like a bit of a naff bodybuilder, which in itself is fairly naff, so you can imagine how naff Patrolman Pete was. We don't have many more. I'm trying to get properly.
One is that now,
No, do that. Do it. Presenter. Any other questions? Anything? I'm kind of here to be for you. Well, with the reason, we can answer about machines with us.
And I think what you've just done is shows very much how the art and the science are equally balanced and are the job of a marketing person, isn't it? Which I think sometimes in creative areas we can overlook, but there is a hell of a lot of science behind everything you see, really. Because nobody's going to spend a huge amount of money without believing that, there's some hard stuff going on.
And there's psychological grip.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's an awful lot of the psychological sciences coming into marketing more and more. So I do quite a lot of work with neuroscience. I do quite a lot of people linked up to labs while they watch adverts, and a lot of what we call thinking fast and slow, so you can see what emotional, immediate responses to stuff, as well as the very rational, I think that your product is 3.4 times better than their product. Because actually, it's the emotional, immediate response, which is a much bigger driver of how people react. All of the ads you guys called out, funny, engaging, emotional. If I had a set of mums in the room, they'd be calling out John Lewis, and they'd be, similar emotional, engaging, slightly different needs. If I had a set of granddads in the room, they'd be calling out other emotional ads which pulled on their heartstrings. But actually, it's here first, and then it's here. If either one of those two things is missing, the ad won't work. Great won't work. All right, I'll let it go. Let's do a deck. So I've got a deck, and it's got a load of stuff in it. So I'm gonna. First of all, so what is marketing? Let's look at this at the very, very beginning. Now this is some of the stuff we get like thrown at us. So greasy salespeople trying to flog people things they don't want. That is the most impossible thing to do in the world. We don't do that. Funky Londoners hanging around in agencies, having nice lunches. Like a massive laugh, honestly. We don't do that. It's very hard work. We have the odd. I was at an awards do last night, actually, so we do have the odd party. Loud shirts. This is actually my boss has the loud. He's the marketing data and insight director of the AA. He has the loudest shirts. Honestly, there's days I'm like, I can't look at you. It's too much. Our chairman describes us as the arm wavers, slightly extroverted marketeers. and then there was a long time ago. There was a thing called Nathan Barley. Have you ever watched Nathan Barley?
I love that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, now you're spotting the direction. Add it to your Google list. Go watch the Nathan Barley. Very funny. Definitely very, very funny. But Nathan Barley, he lived in Shoreditch in East London, lived this kind of super cool life, and he was totally over the top. It was very funny. But he went to an agency once, and he said, I need to speak to whoever it was, and the guy said, no, you can't talk to him, he's having his monkey time. And the guy was in a room, just going, whoo, 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 whoo. So there is a sense that we have monkey times. This is not a barbecue Tuesday, are you staying for lunch, it's unicorn. There is a sense that we're just a bit wacky and we make stuff up all the time. Or, actually this is what my chairman is, money pit. So there is a massive challenge in marketing with it being a creative discipline, because everything else in business is not a particularly creative discipline. Not that you could argue that business is quite creative. And so everything else in business you can measure, and you can say, I spend £1 more on my, sales promotion, and I get £3.4 back. So I know exactly how to pull the levers and work the business. It's not the same in marketing. You throw a load of money into what feels like a big black hole, and then something happens to your brand over here. And it's very hard to go, which bit of that money made that happen? There's a great phrase, I know 50% of my marketing spend is wasted. I just don't know which 50%. It's a classic. So money pit, that's what our chairman thinks it is. It's been my whole life telling you it's not. This is the actual sort of dictionary definition of marketing. So marketing is the management process responsible for identifying, anticipating, and then satisfying customer requirements profitably. And you guys got to this first thing. So when I asked you, what is marketing, you talked about consumer need, yeah? You talked about sales, you talked about, products, making products that meet needs. That's absolutely what it is. What we do, what I do, my job, is to be my customer. Is to be sitting in every single conversation, every single meeting, being my customer. Now that is a bit of a challenge, because I'm not 3.5 million people in the UK, which is our membership base of the AA, and I'm not the 14 million people in the UK who use the AA, so we have a whole load of extended use. So I would say about 80% of my day job is spent trying to understand customer need. Yeah, customer need. What people really and they were basically using it as a way of getting money. And so this group of guys came together and said, this is ridiculous, got to stop this. So they employed a bloke, whose name, Stenson Clark, thank you, God, don't forget that name, founder of the AA. They employed him, and he went out on his little bike to find speed traps. And when he found a speed trap, he would go up the hill, ahead of the speed trap, and he would tell the members that there was a speed trap down the hill, slow down. And then the police arrested him, threw him in prison, converted him to court of justice, and made him get more money. So, the AA, not to be beaten by the police because it was a totally rebellious organisation, decided they wouldn't tell people there was a speed trap. They would just salute all their members. But if you weren't saluted by the patrol, you had to stop and ask him, why did you not salute me? And he would say, I didn't salute you because there's a speed trap. Can't be thrown in prison for just not saluting. Carried on. That's brilliant. And the whole thing grew from there. I think it was the 18th member was a woman. At a time when women did not join clubs. It was a totally egalitarian, rebellious bunch. They invented petrol stations. They invented breakdown cover, as we know. They invented road signs. All the original road signs of Britain, the AA club put up themselves. They had little phone boxes. Dotted all over the country, and if you remember and you broke down, you just go to a box and you'd phone and they'd send a bloke on his little motorbike to mend your car. This is when you could mend a car with like a spoon and a bit of rubber. It wasn't like that.
MacGyver.
So they built this incredible brand, just by accident. accident based on rebellion and doing the right thing for their members and looking after each other, and like this hugely warm and benevolent brand. And it was what was called a mutual. So all the members owned the business. So it wasn't owned by shareholders, or it wasn't owned by the chairman, or it was owned by the members. And it had this lovely kind of journey. And then the 90s hit. And you couldn't do things like that anymore. And it got bought by what's called a private equity company. People must have heard of. You meant to go boo hiss. Private equity, you have to boo hiss at private equity. So private equity companies, you'll hear this phrase now, so, are companies that come in and buy companies and then strip all the costs out of them. They're really evil, we think.
Philip Green's the latest sort of.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
in the
quite
news.
an example of an extremely bad version of that.
Exactly.
We've heard of him, right? The big British Unstars guy?
Sorry, what?
Okay.
British. What?
VHS.
Postals,
VHS.
just gone close. So because
yeah.
somebody's took money out for pension, the workers stripped money.
I bought a big yacht.
Yeah.
What we got? So,
What?
I didn't realise that that's how they went nuts.
yeah.
I also
Well, I think they were going West anyway.
They weren't doing very well.
No, they were going bust
They got
anyway.
bought out and the workers got massively screwed over. Basically.
I have some bones to pick with several people.
Okay.
But on the other hand, there's now a yacht out there. It's
No.
nice to
Yeah.
hear. It's nice to hear.
The deserving him, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so the AA got bought for this lovely, benevolent, owned by its members, pipe and slippers company, as it was often termed. It got bought by a private equity company because it couldn't carry on being like that because it was all getting very competitive. And private equity companies don't believe in spending money on marketing unless they have to, so they stopped spending any money. So this is before we were bought. This is like this graph is just marketing spend. You see, so we spent lots. That says 35 million. That's the sort of numbers we were spending back in the 90s. And if you guys Google AA advertising, and you'll see that there's a very famous advert with John Cleese, a famous advert with what's her face, Olivia Colman. You know, we used to do lots and lots of really good advertising. And then they stripped all, and so it all goes down here. And what that meant was that all of our kind of what we call brand metrics, so the things you look at to find out if people have heard of your brand, starts to go down. Yeah? This is awareness. Yeah? This is literally name me a breakdown company. We go out and ask people constantly, name me a breakdown company. And people just, fewer and fewer people. So at the beginning of this, 98% of people said the AA. And after about six years of this, we were down at, 90. I mean, 1 in 10 people, when asked to name a breakdown company, did not say the AA. Like 1 in 10. I found that astonishing. So all this is happening. And so, of course, what that means is that you say this is a sort of sales one, all your sales metrics start to go backwards. And then this is a UK penetration, how many people in the UK are using our product, starts to go backwards. And then the business owners start going, why is this business going backwards? Why am I making less and less and less money? Why have we got fewer and fewer and fewer members? And we're all there going, marketing, it's marketing. They're going to comment marketing, you're a money pit. You have no, it's not marketing, it's some other reason. Let's go and fiddle over here. And we're like, it's marketing. Anyway, very handily, we were then taken public. Where did we go? We'll ignore that. We were taken public. So our chairman, new chairman, took us onto the FTSE, which means that you can buy shares in the AA if you want to. Not sure I'd recommend it right now. Shares can go up as well as down. But you can buy shares. And a big thing in share value, in people looking at what a share price is how strong is the brand. So what you do creatively is a huge part of the value of the company. And everything that goes in that, the pensions, the salaries, the workers, me. And so the new chairman was like, look, this brand is going backwards. I can see we have got to invest in this brand. So he was like, yes, we're going to invest. And so we turned up. I've only been here a year. My boss has been here just under 2, to try and work out what is the thing we need to write in the middle of that brief. What's the question? And that's what we've been doing, about 6 months doing. So this is what we do as a team. We use data and insight, which you talked about at the beginning, because consumer research, questions, all that sort of stuff, to be the voice of the customer. That's what I'll say in a minute. So I open my mouth, I need to think about I'm one of our members. Energize the brand. you've just seen on Old Spice, that's them energising the brand. Bring this kind of old-fashioned, analogue, slightly fuddy-duddy pipe and slippers brand into a modern age. Use it to develop new products and services. Not done any yet, but I will have some this summer. And then membership at the heart. So we were originally formed for our members. It's all about our members. And if it isn't all about our members, there's no reason for you to join us. We had to get back to that. So that's what we do. No, I don't know next to the screen, it's completely gone. Ah, good. Let's talk about customer management. So, we've done loads of research. This is not for you to read. Loads of research, loads of massive studies, loads of data and analytics, loads and loads of focus groups, loads of research, loads of people. To try and understand what are the key drivers. Why might someone join the AA? What do you think? Why might someone join the AA? Not hard to read my mind. Ignore that. Well, you just tell me, why might someone join the AA?
Because that way they've got cover for when they break down.
Why not the RAC then?
Because all like people hear more of the AA, so then it makes it seem like that brand is more reliable.
Yeah.
Right, well because they're more reliable, I'm going to go with them. More people know about them, so me as well. I've got a better chance of having like a quick response when I have a breakdown.
That is brilliant. You've just gone, you've done really well there. So what people tend to go, more people have heard of them. But it's not. It's more people have heard of them, so they think. Yeah, back to Just Eat. So they think they're more reliable. That's insight, as opposed to just an observation of, oh, more people have heard of them. Exactly, more reliable. There's another reason why people join the AA. Another really big reason. People like driving. Now, no one here will be a driver? Anyone? No, none of you are 7? Are any of you 17? Yeah. Okay, any drivers? Learning? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Good. I could probably cheat and know what segment you are, but I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to. Tempted. So people like driving. People like being in their cars. People like that sort of sense of personal space, and sense of freedom, and going where you like, and doing your own thing. It's hugely liberating. Really big reason to join the AA. So the big stuff is, it's people who are like on top of things join the AA. People who are like, am I allowed to swear or not? A little bit. People who've got their shit sorted. Yeah? They join the AA. I don't know how else to say it without saying it. And that's really important. And then people who like driving, who like being in their car. Not necessarily, this is really interesting, people who like cars. And there's the big difference. So people who like cars, wheels and jacks and spanners and rod ends, I don't know, oil, they tend to join the RAC. Yeah, because it's a much more, it's kind of, the Royal Automobile Club is kind of like car-y. People who like driving but don't really ever want to lift the bonnet tend to join the AA. Very interesting. Now I've got something that's starting to go into my brief. No one knew this. We were just advertising it, and then we were like, why can't we separate from the RAC? Why when we advertise do we both? Right. That's those two things. And then the other thing, the other really important thing is this membership. So we were like, does membership matter? Like, do people give a, particularly nowadays with Netflix and like your members of loads of stuff without even thinking about it. You don't think about being a Netflix member, an Amazon Prime member, an O2 member, you know, Tesco member. I don't know. You don't think about it. Does membership matter? It really does, actually. So people who join the AA believe in and care about the fact it's a membership organisation, and that when you join, there's a load of stuff above and beyond just breakdown. There's like some actual benefits. You get money off restaurants and you know, money off hire cars and money off sort of stuff you spend at service stations. But there's a very strong sense of membership. The longer you're there, you go up, you become a silver member and then a gold member, and there's just something about that people really like. So those are the kind of really big things. What we then did is we then take the whole UK driving population and we split them into 8 segments. This is really important because I had this problem. People were saying, sell more AA, and I'm like, 60 million people in this country, there's 37 million drivers. And I can only say one thing. I've got to work out who's my target audience. What's the one thing I'm going to say? And everyone's like, oh yeah, your target audience are are people between the ages of 30 and 55. I'm like, what, and they're all the same, are they? Because last time I looked, like even people who are all 35, I'm 36, even people who are all 36 aren't the same. Younger people, you know this, younger people don't all do the same thing. It drives me mad. What do young people think of the AI? Age, money, region, actually isn't what splits out your target audience. They're split by their attitudes, you know, and their kind of values. And the ones that really matter for us is this: do I love my car? Have I got my together? And do I believe in membership? And so those three sort of dynamics is what created our segmentation. And then we did a load of clever maths, which I didn't really get very involved in. I just went, yes, that was clever, I believe you. And we worked out that the most important segment for us to grow the business is these guys over here. They're called freedom seekers. I named all these. That's a surprise. Freedom seekers. And this is really interesting because at the moment, people who are part of the AA are these retiring to the easy life. You should get a clue in the name. There are lots of people's granddads at the moment. You know, paid off the house, which of course none of us can now buy. Got the full pension, which of course none of us are going to get anymore. You know, and they're living this lovely cruise around the world kind of life. And then these blokes, traditional motorists. This is Jeremy Clarkson. Yeah, really kind of into cars and rah. So that's where the heart of our business is at the moment. Anyone see a problem with trying to grow a business where your heart is older people?
It's also focusing on like male gender as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's not targeting anyone of the female gender or of either age.
Absolutely. And these guys are going to die very soon.
Yeah.
So, like, practically speaking, quite a lot of them in their death. Just mathematically is a problem in business. I used to work on Bovril, very similar issue on Bovril. All Bovril eaters are dying. It's just a real problem. Thank you. I honestly spend so much time saying, give me some money, and I'll do stuff. So, what we need to do is we need to shift from a brand that talks to these people, these older, kind of very sort of conformist people, to this younger group, these freedom seekers, which are, you're absolutely right, there's a 60% female in this group. These groups are like 80 and 75 and 80% male. So already I've got a brand which has to like completely change its language from a gender basis before I try and get it to move younger. So this is our new target market, freedom seekers. They're going to be a challenge. So now I've got two bits in my brief. I know who the target market is, and I'm starting to think it's your insight right. So we did a load of work on what messages motivate people. You don't need to read this, it's just to show you how you kind of go one level below. We took those freedom seekers and we said, right, let's sort of say different things about this brand. What motivates you? What do you believe? Because actually, if you say something that's totally unbelievable, it's not very useful, even if it's very motivating. So we're now getting much clearer. And actually, the thing that these people want to hear, need to hear from us, is that we're a modern, technologically driven, relevant brand. Yeah? We're not this analog, condescending, formal, male Jeremy Clarkson brand. Right. And so that gave me a really clear marketing brief. So we have to win with those freedom seekers. We've got to get them to buy more stuff off us by showing them that what we are doing is right for them, by being this modern, technologically advanced brand. We've then done a bit of work to then define what is our brand. So given all that, what is our brand? What do we do to people? And actually the big thing, big difference, big insight with freedom seekers, these kind of quite independent women who love to drive and love to go places and have got a really clear idea of how they're going to enjoy themselves, yeah? I think you're probably a freedom seeker. They won't tolerate the unexpected developing their plans. They expect brands to be there to sort it. I was the other night, I sat down with my husband to watch Netflix, and Netflix wasn't working. And I googled it, and it's like, Netflix isn't working for Android. I'm like, that's just not an option. You can't just say I'm not working for 60% of phones. Yeah, that is not the sort of brand, that's not what a brand like that should do. I'm a freedom seeker, yeah? And I expect you to absolutely, as a brand, just sort my life out so I can do what I want to do, because that's what matters. So we're really clear. We've just got to be that brand, yeah? We've got to just be, yeah, whatever you need, we sort it. We are a problem solver. So our brand role is problem solving. So we did a bit of advertising last year. It was all right. It was pretty good. It wasn't targeted at freedom seekers. It wasn't going where we needed it to go. And then this year, I was in a bit of a dilemma because I had to use last year's advertising back to that money pit. The chairman had said you can't have any more money to make any more than 10. So I had last year's 10. If anyone ever watches The Great British Sewing Bee, yeah, did you see the episode where they had to make lingerie out of some silk scarves? Yeah, that was me with this advertising. I had like 60 seconds of footage with about 30 seconds kind of on the cutting room floor. And it was like, right, Cheryl, can you make me 3 new adverts that do 3 different things? Talk about the app. So we've got like a new app for the AA. Talk about the overall brand, and then also talk about our key cutting service. Anyway, so I did that. And I was like, at least let's make some new outdoor advertising. So we've done some really cool outdoor. So you can see these. Now then, tell me what you think is good and bad.
Is it yellow like the first colour that sinks the eyes, was the first colour you goes to?
Exactly. Very handy having that as our brand colour.
Also very positive, smiley.
Yep, definitely. Come on, give me a critique. Go.
I can't critique until I know is that a donut or a tire?
Good critique. No, it is a critique. A donut or bagel, depending who you want to be, but not a tyre. But that's the critique.
And what's the science?
Oh, sorry. This says save 20% on food and drink and motor services. To be fair, you've probably already got those food, but that's a really good point. This says found the cheapest fuel nearby with the AA app.
You can't really see the text. Like, I get it if it was like a really big poster on a really big screen or something, you'd be able to read the text. But if it's like A3 or something, or A2, it'd be quite hard to read the text. And especially if you're driving as well, you don't really have time to stop and actually read something. You just you're on the go.
Yeah, totally. So that you can see this is how it was on this is a digital 48, I think. So they're pretty big. But yeah, that is a challenge. So outdoor advertising, one really simple, I'll give you loads of rules today, I'm sorry. There is a bit of rules to create. Never more than 7 words. Never more than 7 words on outdoor advertising. Most outdoor advertising is seen at speed, or is seen distractedly. So you shouldn't really be stopping and reading outdoor advertising when you're driving, even if you're only driving at 15 miles an hour. Never more than 7 words. So it's my challenge. So what I loved about this, absolutely yellow, fantastic, the yellow and black. Don't have to worry about branding. I mean, who else could it possibly, apart from Marmite, or other brands, we are the only brand that could be. Smiley icons, and there's also a sense of cleverness. So there's something in advertising, if you let people feel that it works out, the creative, let people feel clever, people love that. Just like the Just Eat's a great example. You read it and you go, oh, what song is it? Yeah, got it. Yeah? Let people feel clever. These are great because they let people feel a bit clever because people go, oh, where's the smile? There it is. Where's the smile? Yeah? Just that tiny little bit of let me feel clever, which is great. The problem, I think you're right, is too many words and ends up being a little bit small. So I think the C is not as good as it should be of the ABC. Attention, I think is great, big, yellow, black. B is pretty good, yellow and black, and nice big A's, and and the smiley thing. It's the C that I think slightly lets it down. It's been pretty good actually, it's performed pretty well. And outdoor advertising is probably the hardest medium to work in, I think. I can't quite believe it. They are. There it is on the 48. I was on the 90, that's called a 96 sheet. 6 is 96 sheets. Don't know what sheet it is. That's on the A4 going into London. These are digital assets, so these kind of rotate through different messages. You can do really funky stuff with these. So you can have data feeds going into them, like you can have live temperature feeds. So we can trigger a message about icy roads only when it got icy. You can have any like data feed in the world that you can think about. You can have feed. So I could have like a data feed of people who've broken down on that road and say, James just broken down and we fixed her. So the digital ads are great. So we've done loads this summer, and this is the other really big thing we spend a lot of time looking at is how many people are seeing it and how many times, and what is the right amount of time to see it versus how much you have to spend. Because I can get either more and more and more people to see it, or I can get the same people to see it more and more and more times. So there's like a dynamic between those two metrics. So 94% of the country, pretty much everyone, saw it on average 60 times.
Amazing.
Now, it'd be interesting to see, did you feel you saw this campaign? Does this look familiar?
I have to say it doesn't to me, and I
You did
drive.
there as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we did, which is now come back to haunt me because I come from Southport, and my mum lives in Southport, and the main test of whether advertising is good was whether my mum was in it. We did an upweight, so we put more money into one region of the country, which I think was the Midlands, West Midlands, and we did a downweight, so we reduced money in another region of the country, which was the Northwest, because we wanted to see if we could get a measure of how sales were responding by having some comparative levels. It's a bugger though, because my mum's in the Northwest was like, not seeing your advert! Also interesting because it's targeted at drivers, so a lot of you won't have seen this because you're not driving on big areas and you were downweighted. And a lot of it was on telly. And I would think your media consumption is not so much telly, is it? Lots of AV and time shifted and on-demand type stuff. Yeah. And this is what's interesting is we move to that freedom seeker rules. Because old people watch a lot of telly. It's really good. Okay. There are times when you can't generalise. They don't work with me. But we do a little testing of whether people have done the ABC. So execution cut through, A, have people seen it? Brownlee, B, do they know it's for us? And then you get what's called a branded cut through. Did this here, did they know it's for us? It's really strong. This is a really good result. It shows you how these things drop off. And the most important thing is then what did it make them think? You know, is it doing what I said in the middle of the brief? And it's making them think what we want them to think. So A will give me peace of mind, high quality service, get me going again. You know, these are the things that people kind of want from their breakdown company. So, and then there's some really nice evidence, I'm not going to take to the chart, that it's working. So these are some brand metrics, they're all going in the right direction, that's all we need to know. And these are some other metrics in the business. This is search. How many people searching on Google for our brand? Really useful, kind of like a soft measure of what people are doing. And then we've seen like an absolute step change. Next year, the chairman is not asking me to give back the money, which is always a very good place to be. So I have at the moment got a budget for next year. This is still my bar, which is nice. And then this is interesting. So here's the RHC. Here's the AA. So this is a campaign started about there. You can see the impact will happen on the RHC. Now, we're not meant to be too competitive because we are a creative industry, but there is a level of it. Not least because I don't want to see the end of that too many times. And then the most important piece of branding, what's the most important piece of branding in the AA?
Close. Close.
Yeah, what's the most important thing we can brand?
Breakdown cover.
Huh?
Breakdown cover.
Breakdown. Or vans. So we clean up and rebrand the vans. There's 3,500 vans out on the road driving around all the time. They're like our personal billboards. So actually getting these to sharp and to do that AB, you can't get a C on the van. Why can't you put a communication on the van? It's moving. See, I wish you guys were working with me. I spend all my time telling people you can't advertise the app on the van. No one's driving along going, oh shit, you can't just download it. It just doesn't. My whole life,
Very cold
just
in the
make
van.
it massive A's, beautiful van. That's all it's got to do. And then on to sort of where the brief is going. So we're asking you guys today to think about not breakdown. We're asking you to think about our driving school. This is our driving school. So that's the brand. Yeah, that thing about, you know, loving to drive and being in control of stuff and being on top of your life. And membership. That's what our heart of our brand. That's why people buy into our brand. And we've got this driving school. If you're quite honest, we just don't know what to do with it. Because it's not a breakdown company, so we don't quite know how to talk about it. But it is really, really important to us. So, the first question is, what do people look for in a driving school? I know what they look for in like my breakdown company. They want, you know, get to me quickly, mend my car, get me on the road, solve my problems, job done. But what do they look for in a driving school? So our research basically says there's two really big things. And this is where I want you guys to, this is where you're going to swing in. I'll share the brief in a minute. But this is where your task is, because we are at this target market. Like, I can do a good job on getting into freedom seekers, not just because I'm a freedom seeker. It's a while since I was 17. I wish it wasn't, but it is. So, first thing we think people look for, open to challenge, or respond to, is personal recommendations. That's meant to be personal recommendation there. Yeah? So people turn to their friends and go, who did you learn with? How was it? Was the guy a idiot? Yeah? Well, you know, did you tell me about it? And that's the first thing you do. There's not many things that you rely quite so heavily on personal recommendation. Maybe the local pub, maybe restaurants, driving school. Because it's really intimate. I mean, you know about it. You're going to go and sit, and you're learning, who else is learning or learned? Hans McCann, those drivers. One. There's more than you, wasn't there?
I'm 17, but
Not learning yet. So, are you the only one?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you're now going to be prime target market. Everyone's going to be around your desk going, you know. It's really intimate, isn't it? You spend...
Yeah. My granddad teaches me at the moment.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh. And how's that going for you?
It's fun. It's fun, but he's very like, you gotta pay attention. You gotta do this.
But you're not looking at the road.
You're not looking at the road, but let me touch the steering wheel and run up. Let me in the driver's seat.
It's really intense. and it's like a really small space. And either you're in with a relative who probably hasn't taught you anything in quite a long time either, so you haven't got like a teacher relationship with them in the first place, and then suddenly they think you can teach you, and they can't teach you about anything else in life. Or you're being taught by, in essence, a stranger, and you've got to form very quickly this like teacher relationship, but you only see them for an hour a week, and then you're in this like really small space. And by the way, the thing you're doing could kill someone. It's quite high stress learning. It's not like here, you're not going to kill anyone, you know, but you get this one, you know. So you're in quite a stressed state when you learn, and then you have this so it's a very, very intense experience. So recommendations key. Pass rate. So, you know, how quickly are people passing? Are they having to repeat? You know, that's I want to pass. That's what I want out of this. I don't want to be carrying on learning. It's not a pleasurable, it's not like university where people go, I love university, I'll learn for my life. You know, it's not a pleasurable learning experience, generally, I think. So those are two things that we think we know about. Open to challenge. And the big question is, what has the AA got in all this? You know? Big brand, trusted brand, reliable. But it's all about personal recommendation. Pass rate, well, our pass rate is pretty good, but there'll be local people who are better and there'll be local people who are worse. So that's the thrust of the brief is how do we, and I'll show the brief in a minute, how does the AA become the perfect driving school for you? That's what's at the heart of the brief. What do we do? What should we do for you to become the perfect driving school? And you know, we're looking for a creative answer, so we're looking for your answer in the medium of whatever creative medium you think is most relevant. We'll talk about that. Because for us, it's really important. So this is the role of the AA for us. It's an illustration, because it's very important. So the core of our membership, most of our money, the thing that keeps the business going, comes when people are right in the middle of family life and they've got 2 cars and kids and they need a couple of breakdown covers and then they break down and you have to take a higher package because, you know, that's where all the money comes. That happens when you're kind of in your early mid-30s, and there's a whole gulf before that. But before that, you have got driving school. So this is our chance to form a brand association, a relationship with people, way before we start to get the money off them. Did I just say that like that? Yeah. All right. Way before they become our valued members. But that's what we're trying to do. We are trying to form a really good relationship with people that makes them go, God, yeah, I know to drive with the AA. It's brilliant. So that when they come down the line 3, 4, 5 years later and they buy a car and they want to have breakdown cover, they go, of course, that's the brand I feel warm to. And it might be only a little bit of warmness more than other brands. But that little bit of warmness sitting deep in here, remember it's here before it's here, will make a difference. So that's why it's really, really important to us. So I've got the brief. On the brief out.